of these teams have been able to move it on the ground, but who can stop the run? That may very well be the difference between what happens today. Dave Neal and Dave Rowe are coming up with all the action next as number 7 Arkansas hosts Auburn. We're back with more right after this.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Jefferson Pilot Sports, a division of Jefferson Pilot Financial.
Arkansas is 7th in the nation and undefeated. The reason? The running of Cedric Cobbs.
Cobbs in control on the left side, breaking the tackle. Still on his feet, touchdown.
The senior has had an up-and-down career with the Razorbacks, but so far this season, he is one of the country's best running backs. Today, the Hogs will have to contend with an Auburn team that has a big-time runner of its own. The Cadillac shifted into high gear last week in an upset of number 8 Tennessee. Stay tuned for an SEC West showdown from Fayetteville. But you would never know it by these Razorback fans. They have been calling the Hogs since last night. It's homecoming. The Auburn Tigers visit Razorback Stadium to take on the undefeated and 7th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. And hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Neal. So glad you could join us. Now, there are a lot of good football games today, but we think we've got perhaps the best matchup in the Southeastern Conference today, if not America, because we've got two teams that are riding high. How about the Arkansas Razorbacks? Not even ranked in the top 25 to start the season. Well, they're number 7 now. And Tommy Tuberville's Auburn Tigers started 0-2, but they seem to have found their way, winning 3 straight, including a big win over Tennessee last weekend. Joining me again, my partner Dave Rowe. And Dave, let's start with this Arkansas football team. They were off the radar at the end of August. Now they're certainly centered on everybody's bullseye right now at number 7. Cedric Cobbs is the reason. Why?
Well, Dave, we saw so much promise early in his career and then all the nagging injuries. But this year, it's all behind him. He's made a commitment. I love the way he coasts into the hole, sees the blocking, finds that little seam and explodes. And when he explodes, he's picking up yards.
36 carries, 198 yards 2 weeks ago against Alabama, and that great come-from-behind overtime win against Alabama. Now, let's talk about another team that's on a comeback, if you will, Auburn. They're doing it behind a running game that disappeared the first 2 games. Cadillac Williams, folks, he's back. 36 carries last week and looked great.
Oh, he's unbelievable. We saw him early against Vandy. He was tentative. He really didn't plant that foot, but last week against Tennessee, that was his coming out day.
Oh, it should be a great one. Coach Tommy Tuberville is alongside Dave Baker.
Tommy, great crowd. This is the kind of atmosphere that college football is all about.
That's exactly right. We had it last week when we played Tennessee. We played with a lot of emotion. We've got to start fast today to keep the emotion away from them.
And you've got to stop their running game as well.
We're going to do that. We got to stop the passing game too. They're a balanced team. We're going to load up and make them throw it.
All right, Tommy, best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks. That's Tommy Tuberville, Dave.
Well, 72,000. I would say more than 72,000 will be inside Razorback Stadium. This place has really turned out to be a magnificent facility, and it is going to be a hotbed of football today. Cannot wait to get it started, and we are just moments away. 4-0 Arkansas in their red home jerseys against the 3-2 Auburn Tigers in their road whites. The Razorbacks will take a knee in the end zone after Auburn won the toss, deferred. So Arkansas will come out to the 20. Our Chevy starting lineups today look like this. We talked about Cedric Cobbs in the open, 140 yards per game. Richard Smith, certainly keep an eye on him today. George Wilson has a bad ankle. We'll see how many snaps he can get today. This offensive line has been great, but nobody's better in America perhaps than Sean Andrews, making his 28th career start, 350 pounds. And at quarterback for most of the season has been Matt Jones, but right now they start with Ryan Sorahan behind center. And the first carry gets about a yard, but Ryan Sorahan gets the start over Matt Jones. A little change up from Houston Nutt. Our Auburn starters defensively, DeMarco McNeil's having a breakout campaign after some injuries the past couple of years. Spencer Johnson, his partner in the middle there, and Reggie Torbor really getting some pressure on the quarterback the last few weeks. Dontarius Thomas, Travis Williams, and Carlos Dansby. Good group of linebackers. And in that secondary, it's kind of been I guess a hodgepodge of players with some injuries. We'll explain those as we go along. We're looking at 2nd down and 9 now for the Razorbacks. The handoff to Cobbs. He gets 2 yards on the carry as Matt Jones is in at quarterback.
And Dave, they use Matt Jones. They used him in that wide receiver position to open up the game. They just do that, just kind of make the defense just go, hey, what's going on? And they make changes. But Matt Jones should be in there most of the game.
Houston Nutt told us yesterday he wanted Ryan Sorahan to get some more snaps. A minute. 3rd down and 8 early in the football game. Shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers. Jones will throw. Nearly picked off on that sideline right in front of the Auburn bench. That'll bring up a 4th down.
Well, that was just great coverage by Kevin Hobbs, the cornerback. Just one-on-one coverage.
There's Trey Smith back to return the punt. It is weird formation. Cedric Cobbs. Not even in the football game. Now they line up in a punt formation. Auburn didn't buy it. Had me fooled for a moment. Was razzle-dazzle early. Smith will let it bounce. Down inside the 25-yard line. 55-yard punt. And the Auburn Tigers will have their first possession of the game. And this is the Chevy starting lineup for the Tigers. Jarish McIntyre at 117 yards. And the 3rd game of the year against Vanderbilt. Also a couple of big touchdowns in that game. But Cadillac Williams is the one we will focus on today. That offensive line has gotten a lot better the last month of this football season. Took some knocks early, but they are playing extremely well. And quarterback Jason Campbell. No change-ups here for the Auburn Tigers. Look at his last 3 games. Completing 70% of his passes. 5 touchdowns. No interceptions. In motion goes McIntyre. Handoff to Williams. He's got some room. Cadillac Williams to midfield. Inside the 40, run out of bounds at the 33-yard line by Jamar Gallen. The first play from scrimmage racks up 41 yards.
And Dave, Tommy Tuberville told me before the game, he said, we're going to run on him. We think we can run. You can run when you get great blocking like that, and you've got an explosive back that can get into the secondary. Credit that big offensive line. They just blew them off. A lot of times you'll see Arkansas overplay because they're so aggressive.
Now in a no-back set with 4 wide receivers. Here's the pass complete. Courtney Taylor. Gets it inside the 30. They'll mark it at the 26-yard line. That Arkansas defense. Jeb Huckabee, 18 tackles. 4 of those have come for a loss. Aaron Dixon's been banged up a little bit back in the lineup. Caleb Miller, Sam Olajibudu, and Jamar Gallen are your linebackers. In that secondary, Lawrence Richardson, number 1, is a guy that they didn't know how much he would get as a badly sprained ankle. Missed the last couple of games, but he is on the field right now with Jimmy Beasley, Tony Bull, and Mont Carroll. Campbell to throw. Pass is caught by McIntyre. He's run out of bounds at the 16-yard line. That'll be an Auburn first down. Jimmy Beasley had the coverage.
And Dave, you see the Auburn game plan is to attack. This is a quick play. You just run with success. Now you pass with success. Tommy Tuberville said we're going to use a lot of formations. We're going to come out and put a lot of motion, go to a lot of different things. And he is.
First down and 10 for this Auburn offense in the I formation. Hit behind the line for a loss of about 4, maybe Great play from Aaron Dixon. Blew right up the middle. Here's the big man who has a sprained big toe. Didn't know how many snaps he would get today.
Oh, penetration right there. Look at that penetration into the backfield. He's 2 yards back there. Again, look at this. Way in the backfield. Cadillac Williams never even got a chance. That's great explosion off the ball.
6'4", 295 from Wynn, Arkansas. Couple of tight ends for the Tigers. Campbell rolls near side. Pass is incomplete. Ben Obamanu had a foot out of bounds when he made the reception.
Oh, this is one that Obamanu would love to have back because he didn't drag that foot when he went out of bounds. He was close to first down yardage. Tommy Tuberville says, hey, it's a good play. Houston Nutt, he's concerned. Auburn has come out here and driven this football.
Now Auburn looking at a third down. 3rd and 15. Darnell Williams, single setback. 3 receivers to the top. Pressure comes right away. Campbell lets it go as he falls backward, and it's picked off by Tony Bua. Still on his feet inside the 5. And the Razorbacks have stopped Auburn.
Well, Dave, if you're Tommy Tuberville, that's not what you want to see. He got great pressure. Aaron Dixon got pressure right here, 92. And he doesn't let go. There's another pressure on the outside. He just throws up for grabs. Bua, he's the safety back here. He just plays the ball. Look how high that ball is. Now just circle under. There's his foot out of bounds. Right there you see. They come back and they mark it. But heads up, play by Arkansas.
Tony Bua is a Butkus Award candidate at the linebacker spot, but they moved into safety this year to replace Ken Hamlin. And it's worked out quite nicely.
Yes, it has.
Cedric Cobbs avoided a 2 or 3 yard loss. Got it back to just about the line of scrimmage. Reggie Torbor, the senior out of Baton Rouge, the first man on the spot.
Boy, Auburn is getting great penetration on the runs. They're getting in the backfield. Anytime you get in the backfield, you disrupt them. And it's led by those seniors, Dave, up front. DeMarco McNeil, Reggie Torbor, Spencer Johnson.
Arkansas backed up, looking at a 2nd and long. Jared Hicks, the tight end, in motion. For play action to Cobbs. Jones has some time. Jones hit at about the 6 and dropped there. Kevin Sears, the true freshman from Russellville, Alabama, and Reggie Torbor bring him down.
Well, Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator for Auburn, said to me, the one thing concerns me is when Matt Jones gets the ball and he comes out here because he's incredibly fast. They almost line it up, but Auburn gets a lot of people to the ball. Look at the number of white shirts. 1, 2, 3, 4 in on the tackle. There's Gene Chizik right there, standing up.
So 3rd and 9. Matt Jones in the shotgun, deep in his own territory. Jones with a quarterback draw. Needs to get to the 15. Only got to about the 13. Dontarius Thomas was spying him the entire way, the senior from Perry, Georgia.
Well, a good stop by Auburn. Now they're going to get good field position. But you can't make mistakes like they did on that first drive. That was a scoring opportunity.
So Arkansas will punt it away. Jacob Skinner to punt it to Trey Smith. And it's away. That's a good one. Smith takes it at the 38-yard line. And hit and dropped on the spot. A 48-yard kick. Richard Smith, or excuse me, Ahmad Carroll, in on that tackle for the Razorbacks. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
SEC football is being brought to you by Napa Auto Care Center, by Pizza Hut, by Regions Bank, by BC Powder, and by Sonic Drive-Ins.
Some of the activities from last night on Dixon Street here in Fayetteville. It is homecoming. You'd think Arkansas could have picked an easier homecoming opponent than the Auburn Tigers.
Amen.
9 minutes to go in the first quarter. Auburn's second possession. The first time they marched it inside the red zone, but backpedaled, and eventually Campbell threw an interception. Now backpedaling again is Jason Campbell. He has to throw it away. David, coverage sack?
Yeah, absolutely. Great coverage sack.
Well,
not really a sack, but a coverage pressure. When that quarterback comes back, he's got 2.5 seconds to get that ball off. Harris that time got good pressure on him. A lot of linemen coming on him. Miller was on him too, and from the backer spot. But when you come back there and you look and it's not open and you've got to come out of that pocket, that's the coverage.
Jason Campbell came in completing 61.5% of his passes this year. 861 yards. Here's the handoff to Cadillac. Look at Cadillac run hard. Close to the first down. The marker's right at the 48, and they will spot it at the 47-yard line.
Well, this is going to the 5-hole. That's to the left. Now look at that mark back there. Just plant that foot. That's what I was talking about when I said he's not that tentative runner, Dave, that we saw early against Vanderbilt. He's a much different runner. This is the Cadillac that Auburn needs.
Last week, Cadillac had 232 all-purpose yards, which is a career high for that young man. Third and short in the I formation. It's Cadillac. Breaks a couple of tackles. I don't think he got it. He may still be a yard shy. And that will bring up our Alltel sideline connection. Here's Dave Baker.
Dave, you know, it's interesting the way different coaches go about starting the game offensively. What Auburn does, the offensive coordinator, Hugh Nall, is they script their first 8 plays. What they do is in the middle of the week, they go ahead and they put 20 on a board, and they pick out the best 8. He said what they were doing early in the season was they were doing it late at night, and all of a sudden they were tired a few weeks ago and decided, hey, let's do it in the morning. And he believes that they have been better play selectors since they've been doing it first thing.
That last play didn't work, so they have to punt it. Maybe they'll go back to the Wednesday night. Great kick from Cody Bliss. Marvin Jackson will let it bounce. Auburn stumbles over themselves at the 5, or they might have been able to down it. A 53-yard kick, but a 33-yard net for Cody Bliss. We are scoreless in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We'll return after a word from your local stations. Today's game is brought to you in part by Hummer. A great day for football. Glad you could be with us on a big college football afternoon. 7th-ranked Arkansas and Auburn scoreless here in the first quarter. The Razorbacks haven't done much offensively. They've been kind of pinned back in the first 2 possessions. Matt Jones will throw it to his big tight end, Jason Peters, and that'll be close to a first down.
And Dave, you called him big, and Jason Peters is huge. I mean, look at the size of him. 6'5", 320, and he comes off the line. Little drag off the line just to your right. You see he just turns around. Big target. You don't think of a man that size going downfield.
When he lines up next to Sean Andrews, that's almost 700 pounds of man over there.
Yeah.
Here's Cobbs. Tried to stay on his feet, got tripped up right about the line of scrimmage by Kevin Hobbs. And speaking of Sean Andrews, Houston Nutt says he really likes his big man.
He has such great quickness. He can move. His man's blocked. You don't have to worry about that. His man will not make the tackle, and that's what he gives us. And people say that I'm right-handed, and I truly am right-handed because I'm going to run behind him.
And believe it or not, we may actually see the big man carry the football today. He's an Outland and Lombardi Award finalist. Here's Cobbs with a stutter step. Gets a couple of yards before Dexter Murphy brings him down.
Well, Dave, just a quick remark about Sean Andrews. He's the best that I've seen at offensive tackle. He's the most nimble. He is quick on his feet. You would not believe the lateral step that he has when he does that cutoff block inside. He's got a great attitude, great work ethics out here.
Well, Dave, last week, or 2 weeks ago against Alabama, their last game, he had 21 knockdown blocks, which is a school record since they've been keeping that. Jones to throw again. Pass is caught by Mark Pierce, the fullback. That'll be a Razorback first down at the 45-yard line. Our Hummer scoreboard. Check in with Miami and Florida State, and the Hurricanes lead at 6-0. Virginia Tech pounding Syracuse. Michigan State and Illinois tied in the second. Oklahoma State up on Kansas State early, and Clemson on top of Virginia. I really thought Virginia was on their way back. They seem to have gotten the pieces put back together with Matt Shaw back at quarterback. There's Matt Jones running a little option, gets 2 yards, played well by the Tigers defensively.
Boy, when you want to play the option, you can't be knocked down. You've got to be able to run the line. And that's exactly, look at the white shirts. Nobody getting knocked down. There's a hole out here, but he can't get to it. He's got coverage right there. Got to turn it back in. That's the way you play the option.
Second down. And about 8 as we have gone under 5 minutes here in the opening quarter. Now, Auburn's defense in the last 3 games, they've only given up 1 touchdown. Opponents are 1 of 18 on third downs in the first quarter. I mean, their first quarter defense has been spectacular, but Arkansas with a nice drive right now. Jones going up top, has a receiver open at the 28-yard line. Inside the 20 goes Chris Baker, the true freshman. And that'll be a big first down for Arkansas. And they'll mark it right at the 20-yard line, a gain of 33.
And, Dave, whenever you get that wide open, it's got to be a breaking coverage. This is not just beating the man. It's got to be a breaking coverage because Chris Baker is so wide open, he had to actually wait for the ball. Look, nobody around him. If he catches that ball in stride, and look at the block up on the line. That's Jason Peters. We talked about him, the big man, tight end. Good block right there.
Here's Cobb with a power play to the right side, and Carlos Dansby comes slicing his way through that defense. And that'll be about a 3, maybe 4-yard loss. Dansby came flying in there untouched.
Well, Dansby is a real specimen at linebacker. He's got great speed, great explosiveness, gets to the ball and has a nose for it, just kind of feels where it's going.
Talking to the Arkansas coaches yesterday when you bring up Carlos Dansby and you ask him, what are your impressions? And they go, like everybody else, he's great. What do you want to say? He's just great.
That's exactly. Well, you can't think of anything negative. You just say, hey, he's somebody we've got to be concerned with.
Houston Nutt wants a timeout with 3:42 to go in the opening quarter. Nice looking drive from the Razorbacks. And with that timeout, we'll step aside as well. Scoreless in Fayetteville. The Chick-fil-A party tray. You got to have one of those when you go to a football game. You cannot tailgate without the Chick-fil-A party tray. They got it out at the Road Hog Park. Those folks with the freshly brewed iced tea, you get a free gallon of tea when you purchase one of those trays through November 15th. And you can get one of these if you're an Arkansas fan. That's a Cedric Cobbs run. He gets it inside the 20. It looked a lot more promising than it ended up being.
It really did.
Junior Rosegreen makes the stop.
It really did because Auburn came with pressure. They came upfield quickly, and he ducked underneath him. Now he looks wide open, but all of a sudden you'll see Rosegreen, number 4, come up in there. He forces him back inside, and when he turns around, look at the number of white shirts there. They're swarming to the football. Hobbs is in there, defensive secondary. Big down here, Dave.
Third down and 7. Jones gets hit as he lets it go. Pass is knocked in the air, nearly picked off by Will Herring. Kevin Hobbs had the deflection.
And boy, did Dansby bury Matt Jones on that play. Dansby's coming around from the outside. Watch him just beat in there on number 9, Matt Jones. Wow. and the throw came off, and you can't tip that ball up. If you're going to touch it, these defensive backs are too quick. They react to the ball quickly.
Chris Balsero from Miami, Florida, the man who hit the game winner against Alabama, will step in from 35, and he misses it. Houston Nutt says his leash not very long with kickers.
Well, you get so many opportunities, you've got to get down there. Auburn had their opportunity. They gave it up via the interception. Now you've got Arkansas go down there, and they miss a field goal. This ball just never comes around. It just kind of curves. Look at this. Just never. Most of those kickers from that side, they slice the ball. But this one just stayed outside. An excellent call. The official, look, he wanted it. He said, hey, it's going over top, but it did not.
Well, the Auburn Tigers take over at their 20. 2:43 to go in the opening quarter. Cadillac, he gets stuck. Boy, these teams play the run so well, Dave. Both Auburn and Arkansas. You know, Dave Womack, the defensive coordinator, told us yesterday, gap integrity will be key today, and he loves to have organized confusion on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, gap integrity means that you get in, you control the gap. We saw Caleb Miller, 43, step up inside there. There's Dave Womack right there. He's the defensive coordinator. I talked with him for just a few minutes. He said, this is a big one. And he's right.
It out over the 20 to the 22-yard line, and that'll bring up third down at about 7 or 8. Tony Bua with the initial stop on with Sam Olochabutu. Our Hummer scoreboard update. Second quarter. Miami still on top of Florida State. Virginia Tech moving on. Michigan State on top of Illinois. How about Michigan last night? What a comeback.
That was incredible.
Knocking off Minnesota on the road. I mean, they were just left for dead and came back and tremendous. Won with a field goal with about under a minute to go. Here's Cadillac on a sweep. Gets a couple of good blocks and will be shy of that first down marker by about a yard.
Boy, great block out front by Brandon Johnson, number 45. He got out there. He's the lead fullback on the play. They just came up about a yard short. I almost thought Tommy Tuberville would gamble for it.
Yep. It looks like he's going to go for it on fourth down and about 6-8 inches. And there was not much hesitation in that decision. Cole Bennett, Cooper Wallace, a couple of tight ends in the football game. Williams, your single setback.
Trying to throw him offside with a hard count.
Play clock at 3. Will punt it away as Arkansas stayed their ground.
And let me tell you, that's the mark of a really good defense team when you're disciplined in there.
We'll return after these messages from the SEC. A great fall day here in Fayetteville in the Ozarks. The trees beginning to change colors, and beautiful stadium, full house. We're scoreless. Auburn and Arkansas, SEC West showdown. Fourth down and inches, and Auburn's still going to go for it. Quarterback sneak by Campbell, and he will get the first down. Campbell, 6'4", 225. Uses that entire frame and picks up about a yard and a half. Only needed about 8 inches.
Well, he's behind Danny Lindsay, number 68, the center, and it's just drive off there. That's my favorite time. He's got Crittenden, he's got Reddick in there, and Tommy Tuberville says, hey, when I've got 3 good solid players in there, let's just go for it. And he made it. But what a gamble.
A lot of confidence in your defense. You go for it at your own 30. Williams off the left side. Gets to the 35, to the 36. And that'll do it for the first quarter. We are scoreless. So far, the defenses have won the battle. Cadillac Williams has shown some form of old, but he's yet to get the Tigers in the end zone. We're scoreless. Back to Arkansas after this. Auburn band made the trip, along with quite a few Auburn fans. These folks are making some noise. Houston Nutt wanted the Razorback fans to be sweating by kickoff. Said he really needed the crowd today. Second down, 5. Cadillac gets popped a couple of times. He'll be a couple of yards shy of that first down marker, bringing up third down. Our Gatorade first quarter stats. The big play was the 41-yard run by Cadillac Williams. That gave him 64 yards rushing, but neither team able to really sustain anything.
Yeah, it's just that's indicative of the score. Nothing. It's just an evenly played game. Good defense, solid offense, both sides. Both teams have missed opportunities, though, Dave.
Third down and a yard and a half. 3 tight ends in the game. The play action. Campbell's got it going deep. Looking for Anthony Mix. Oh, my goodness.
Dave, I'd like to died on that one. I thought for sure he was going to catch that. It looked like he just kind of short-armed it. And that's not like Anthony Mix. On this play, watch the fake. Now you just hide the ball. Everybody's looking for the run. He's standing back there by himself. And watch this ball. Watch the tail end when Mix puts his hands up. See, he just kind of pulls his hands back in. Oh, and look at Jason Campbell saying, hey, wait a minute, you got to lay out for that.
You know, those are those plays, Dave, the coaches tell us you get 2 or 3 of those a game, and you better take advantage of them.
Oh, huge play.
Marvin Jackson back to return the Cody Bliss punt. Another good kick by Cody. He's been kicking extremely well lately. Jackson inside the 15, tripped up at the 22-yard line. 47-yard punt, and the Razorbacks will take to the field when we return after this. There are a lot of folks who have been around here watching football, but not many have seen 55 consecutive home games, 55 years worth of consecutive home games. It's pretty good stuff. Darius Howard to midfield and pushed out of bounds. His first carry of the day is a good one. The sophomore from West Memphis, Arkansas, picks up 26 on the carry.
Well, what he did is got behind his guard right there. Reef, look at him just sticking outside there. Now just explode, get to the outside, find that little seam. But Jerry Reef just came off the ball. Look at that, just locked him right inside there. That's a great block.
That offensive line of Bo Lacey, Wright, Doty, Bokerman, and Andrews been very, very good this year. Here's Howard again, getting some more blocks. Those are big boys up top, too. Arkansas's last 3 possessions have punt, missed field goal. They had a nice drive, big play, Matt Jones pass in that 3rd drive, but they missed the opportunity. And Balsero missed the 35-yard field goal. Houston Nutt in his 6th year, 43-23, but 4-1 versus these Auburn Tigers. The play action, Jones has time. Lost it up and nearly picked up by Kevin Hobbs right in his hands. Hobbs has a couple of interceptions to lead the team this year, but that one might have been one of the easier ones he will have all season.
Yeah, number 49's got him all the way right to center of your screen there. And look at this, hits him right in the hands. You can't have it any clearer than that. But again, a lot of time back there for Matt Jones to look downfield. But look at that, you just got to look that ball in. It was perfectly played.
So 3rd down and 7. Housley in motion. Jones. Oh, that was nearly picked off at the line of scrimmage from Dexter Murphy. It hit him right in the numbers.
Oh, the big man was trying to scoop that ball up. Number 91, Murphy, on this play. It's going to be a screen pass, right? Just dumped right there. And look at it, hits him right there in the chest. Now all of a sudden, he's, oh, where is it? Where is it? Well, that's a lineman's dream. I've been in that position. You know, I have a 7-yard per carry NFL average, Dave. That's 2 runs, 1 for 14, and 1 I got killed on.
I would love to see the video. They didn't have video back then. I'd love to see the film.
Oh, wait a minute.
I would love to see the film of that. Jacob Skinner to punt it away on 4th down. Ray Smith stands at the 10. Punt angles to the near sideline. It was ugly, but very effective. And Auburn will have it at the 11. Let's check in with Dave Baker as a very special guest. Buzz?
Dave, I'm telling you, you know the face. He's the most popular guy here at the stadium today. Richard Karn, Al Borland from Home Improvement. Richard, how you doing?
Well, now a Family Feud.
Absolutely, and that could be the biggest board up there.
I'm telling you, survey says Arkansas.
Very good. Now, you're also here, and you've been with us all season long on Jefferson Pilot as part of a special project. Tell us about that.
Well, we're talking about recycling batteries for the people. Let's watch this play.
I love this guy's a TV guy.
Crowd making a lot of noise. Here's the handoff to Cadillac Williams. Cadillac gets 8 before he's hog-tied by Marvin Jackson. And let's go back downstairs.
Richard, Cadillac Williams got recharged there, but tell us about the Rechargeable Battery Recycling Corporation.
Well, we're trying to get people, and mostly we're targeting colleges also, about recycling their batteries in their laptops or their cell phones. A lot of these batteries get a lot of use during the year, and when they're no longer useful, they can be recycled. Call 1-800-8-BATTERY or rbrc.org, or just go to your Walmart. They'll take them, or Best Buy, or a Target. And they'll take your batteries and they'll be recycled. They won't go in the landfill.
And it's not only batteries like that, but for those of us with kids, all the little toys or the digital cameras, lots of us are using rechargeable batteries now.
I'm telling you, millions of pounds of batteries were recycled last year. And still a lot of people don't know about it.
Now, I know you're also a huge football fan. You grew up rooting for the Huskies out west. What about this game today?
This game is outstanding. This is a very good game. And, well, you know, Auburn was rated like #1 in some polls.
Right, preseason.
Arkansas has taken it to them.
Richard, thanks so much for being with us, and we appreciate you getting out the word about recycling these rechargeable batteries.
Thank you.
All right, back up to you, Dave.
All right, Buzz, thank you. A personal foul against the Auburn Tigers. Backed him up inside the 10. Hand off to Cadillac. He gets hit by Tony Bua, the first man on the spot. Moments ago, we saw the Razorbacks' first 3 possessions. Let's take the last 3 possessions of the Auburn Tigers, and they had an interception. They were actually inside the 20. They backed up and threw that interception. They punted away the last couple of times. They've had the football, and now they're looking at a 3rd down and 6 situation from the 15. Over the middle, pass is caught at the 25-yard line by Anthony Mix. He was not going to drop that one. Desmond Sims on the coverage, but that will move the chains.
Boy, and you love receivers that do makeups. Little dart inside here, then just go up high for the football coming across the middle. And again, it's a makeup. He might have short-armed that one, but he didn't short-arm this one here. Come down with the ball, move the chains, get that first down, and Mix has a great catch.
Big 3rd down conversion. Arkansas would have had pretty good field position if the Tigers had to punt it away, but instead Auburn continues to move. Here's Cadillac running hard to the 29. Boy, both these teams, Dave, defensively are flying to the football today.
Absolutely. They got great speed. They have team speed. Arkansas a little bit lighter on that defensive line, but they move so quickly to the ball.
For the best deals on cars, trucks, and SUVs, visit your local Toyota dealer today. Well, this Arkansas defense has allowed only 5 running backs to gain 100 yards in the last 18 games. They have been pretty stingy when it comes to stopping the run. Cole Bennett in motion. Cadillac again. Well, Cadillac has already said his name 25 times today. He had 36 carries last week against Tennessee for 185 yards. Heck, he had 217 yards total in the first 4 games.
Well, he's a fierce competitor. And when the situation of Ronnie Brown is back up or equal back there, running back being nicked, not wanting to use him with that hamstring pull, Cadillac seems to be getting a lot of calls.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see Brandon Jacobs, number 27, the 260-pound junior college transfer. In the not too distant future to give Cadillac some rest. But here's Carnell. Carnell nearly broken away from Lorenzo Robinson.
And Dave, you know, that was a great run there. Just explosion when he got hit. But Carnell Williams, I mean, he has done everything. This is that big run he started off with. I formation, 43 yards. He's run inside, great cuts. You see him. He has no fear about that injury. And when he's needed the yards, he's dove for those yards to pick up first down.
And here are his numbers, 93 yards today. Wow.
Look at that effort.
Brandon Jacobs just checks into the football game. The man we were just speaking of moments ago. Brandon Jacobs, the last few games, has really come on strong. Rushes off one Razorback defender, gets close to midfield. A gain of about 8.5 on the play. Lorenzo Robinson trips him up. Jacobs, 6'4", 260 pounds.
When I like the way he runs the football, you're right. He just kind of pushed that person off, whoever it was coming up. You aren't going to bring me down. You have to get in front of him. You've got to stick him. You got to wrap those arms around him to bring him down. Much different runner than what is Carnell Williams.
Averaging 7 yards per carry. His long run this year is 44 yards. Second and short, 2 tight ends. That's mix in motion. Campbell looking for his tight end, Cooper Wallace, but just overthrew him. That's not nice.
That's not nice.
This has turned out to be a pretty good rivalry. I don't know if you say rivalry. Auburn's got to start winning some of these games. Arkansas has won 4 of the last 5. And last year in Auburn really put it to them. We had a chance to do that game, and Fred Talley ran over 200 yards. This Arkansas offense was just a machine last year. Tommy, of course, Tommy Tuberville from the state of Arkansas, just 2-6 against the Hogs. Jacobs on 3rd and short, might have lost a yard.
Boy, Caleb Miller, linebacker 43. You talk about getting to the football. That young man is getting to the football. Look at this. Play across the center's face. Now get across that guard. Come back outside. There he is, sticking him right in the hole. That's the way you've got to bring down Brandon Jacobs. You've got to hit him in the chest, drop him short. Excellent play.
All right, Dave, he goes for it on 4th and a little less than a yard from his own 30. It makes it. Now he's got 1.5 yards. Oh, he got maybe 2 yards.
Yeah, I think you punt this away. I think you punt this away.
All right. Just asking.
I know, but 1 yard's a lot different than 2 or 3.
Cody Bliss with a bad kick. And that will be down by Dansby at the 30. Just a 23-yard kick by Bliss, who struggled early but seemed to have found his form lately. We are scoreless. We'll return after word from your local stations. SEC football is brought to you in part by Toyota. 7:31 to play here in the first half on homecoming Saturday, 2003, Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Arkansas has it 1st and 10 from their own 30. Jones to throw it. Nice throw to the wide side. Stephen Harris, the junior from Hialeah, Florida, with a nice reception, but a good throw.
Boy, that's a pretty throw. When you catch your back coming off the line of scrimmage and you just throw it right in there as a dart. Very soft throw, but look at the position of the ball. Perfect. Right in the pocket. Doesn't have to turn around. Just perfectly thrown. That's as good a ball as Matt Jones has thrown all day.
Matt Jones certainly an improved passing quarterback. Here's Howard, close to midfield. Tripped up by T.J. Jackson. Let's check in with Buzz again.
You know, David, we were talking with Houston Nutt yesterday. He said he didn't know how this team was going to react after the off week. He said you always like to go ahead and get healed up. But the thing about it is you never know whether your team's going to be able to find the rhythm or not. With the exception of that first big hitter by Auburn, it seems as though the Hogs have got their rhythm here this afternoon.
That's a good point, Buzz. He had kind of mixed feelings about this whole off-week thing. They were on such a high after to come from behind to win over Alabama, and then to kind of take a week off and lose some of that momentum was a little disturbing for him. But they seem to be playing with a lot of intensity, and Spears picks up the first down.
And Dave, having been down there, having been on the field in that situation, I know what that's like.
Here's the Razorback schedule. And the game at Texas was a huge confidence boost for this team. And then the rally from Alabama, both those games on the road. This is an unbelievable road team. Then next week, it's Florida. Then they travel to Ole Miss. I still say, keep an eye on that South Carolina game. The Gamecocks continue to impress me. Howard, inside the 40. Down to the 39-yard line.
Well, another good block that time by Jerry Wright, the left guard on that play, pulling around the center. They've done a lot of that. The right guard, he'll come around the center there and kick out. And what you do, so you follow the fullback, comes back, see the guard right there, kick out right in there. Now, get inside, break it back inside, right in there. You've got a great hold, good block to the outside. That's yardage. And they've run that several times. I saw that in the film that I watched of them 2 weeks ago.
Second down and 3. This is a good coordinator's call, but they'll just use the handoff to Howard. Tries to break a couple of tackles. Needed to get to the 35. They'll mark it right at the 35. Dontarius Thomas on the tackle, and that should move the chains.
Well, that was just a very similar play where they were bringing Wright around on that move, but he stumbled on the play, so Howard just made it on his own.
Howard averaging 10 per carry. Came in with 59 carries for 159 yards, but 5 touchdowns. They will bring the chains in.
It's going to be a close mark. It's a game of inches. Heck, I could have called that one across the field. I mean, golly, that was 6-8 inches.
For the most up-to-date information on the 2003-2004 Southeastern Conference basketball season, look for the long-standing authority on college basketball, Street Smiths. Pick up your copy of the all-new fact-filled Street Smiths SEC preview, now available at newsstands throughout the South. Houston Nutt, I guess the Nutt family, pretty good hoopsters in their day. Matter of fact, Dave, Friday, Midnight Madness.
You're ready, aren't you? I love basketball too, man. That's one of my favorite sports.
You were pretty good at it.
Oh yeah.
Your day. If you weren't, it's 6'7". On short yardage situation, the handoff to Pierce. Dansby, the first man to make the hit, and they went behind Sean Andrews.
Well, they knew it was coming behind Sean Andrews, and they stuffed it in the hole. Look at this. Kicked outside. Now he's just trying to reach that line. Can he get to that line? No. They keep on pulling. They're tugging. They're doing everything. Pull him up short.
Well, here's a 4th down. The Razorbacks are going for it. They're 3 of 7 on 4th down opportunities today. And Sean Andrews is at fullback, 350 pounds. He'll lead the way, and I don't think the Razorbacks got it.
No way. Penetration.
Howard went left and not behind the 350-pound fullback, and Reggie Torbor stepped up to make the tackle.
You got to get him underneath him. That's what coaches will always tell you. Get submarine. Get underneath them there. And look, they do. They get underneath. They get great penetration. You see Dansby in there, number 11. He was the one that really hit the leg on that play. Got play in the backfield. Outstanding defensive play. Man, that's a call right there.
Well, 1st and 10 for Jason Campbell. 4:53 to go in the second quarter. Darnell Williams back in. He will take the pitch to the short side. It's 4 or 5 on the play. For the best deals on cars, trucks, and SUVs, visit your local Toyota dealer today.
What's amazing about that last play, I watched him come around there, Williams come around there. I thought there's nothing there. picked up about 5 yards on that play. When you bring up that second down in five or less, well, that's great for a quarterback. You got a lot of options.
In motion is McIntyre. And off will go to Carnell Williams. Spins. About 2 yards shy of the first down. Give him 3.5 on the carry. Caleb Miller, the first man there. Miller with 6 tackles already today.
Well, Miller, he's just playing a wonderful game. Look at him. He plays into number 66, Reddick, and then he just plays off and slides in the hole. He's got control, moving to the ball, using that upper body strength. I want to tell you something. Caleb Miller so far in this game, he's playing as good as anybody.
Yeah, coaches say he might be the most underrated linebacker in the Southeastern Conference, if not the country. The Arkansas coaches love everything about Caleb Miller. Here's Williams on 3rd and 1.5 yards, and he'll be shy. And now here's decision time for Tommy Tuberville. Scott Davenport makes the tackle, former offensive guard.
Well, everybody who plays against Arkansas says that their philosophy is not strong. But look at the number of people that get to the ball. They're all hustling over there. They read their keys really well, react to the ball, play across blocks. They don't take the shortcuts, go around blocks. They play across the face.
Organized confusion. I keep going back to that. Coach Dave Womack emphasized that yesterday. Cody Bliss to punt it again. His last kick went 23 yards. Marvin Jackson stands at the 15. Now they'll take the kick inside the 10 and stumbles. And they will blow it dead right there at the 9-yard line. A 46-yard kick. Bliss had his own player backed up into him. That's why you see the stain on the back of that jersey. 2:42 to go here before halftime. Tommy Tuberville out on the field. I'm not quite sure what the discussion is. Oh, there's a flag on the near side. It looks like could be holding against Arkansas. There's a flag.
During the kick, holding by the receiving team. Penalty is half the distance from the end of the kick. First down.
All the Arkansas players were standing around in their team huddle, their offensive team huddle, right on top of the flag, so we couldn't see it. But that'll push Arkansas way back with 2:42 to go before halftime. They'll need a couple of first downs, or Auburn might have one more crack at it. We'll find out when we return after this. SEC football is brought to you in part by Toyota. Let's check in with Buzz quickly.
Dave, what happened was that hold took place during the kick. The penalty is assessed at the end of the kick because of the fact that end of the kick was inside the 10. It's half the distance to the goal line. That's why the ball is on the 5 instead of the 35.
First play is complete. Now across the 10, close to the first down marker. George Wilson, the senior from Paducah, Kentucky, playing on a bad ankle, makes the catch.
Boy, Dave, that's a little surprise to me. I thought the game plan of Houston Nutt would be just to run the clock out, go in. But Matt Jones comes out and throws the football. Houston Nutt, very animated. That's the signal. Now, whatever that means, you just got to love him. He's a fun guy to play for. Players just really react to him.
18 straight games now with a reception for George Wilson. Couple of yards on the play for Dearius Howard, brought down by Dansby.
Number 11 is a football player. If you want to watch and see what an outside backer looks like, there he is, number 11. Look at this step-up play across the block. Now, hold your spot, come up, wrap him up, and when he gets his arms on him, he brings him down. But you don't want to play across that block.
How about this, a new attendance record here in Reynolds Razorback Stadium, 74,026 have packed in here. They list capacity at 72,000. Here's Matt Jones. He'll step out of bounds at the 20-yard line. They'll bring up a third down.
And I'll tell you, for Houston Nutt, he loves it when he sees Matt Jones run that football. The other coaches, they're saying, oh, man, he's got it. But Matt Jones makes things happen. He makes people miss. Got out of bounds, saved some time, minute and a half left.
Matt Jones will take a timeout with 1:35 left. I got to get the first one. Hey fans, now is your chance to enter the Toyota Tundra Double Cab You Pick'em football contest. Just go online at jpsports.com, click on the Toyota banner to register, and pick the winners. Weekly prizes will be given to the participant with the highest point total. At season's end, a randomly picked grand prize winner to be revealed on December 8th will receive a new 2004 Toyota Tundra 4-door D-cab truck. The Toyota You Pick'em football contest. It's a rather large hog. I saw the real hog this morning.
Did you get down by him?
It was... There's an Auburn fan.
I think I saw him on my plane last night.
Yeah, had a little trouble getting here to Fayetteville, did you?
Oh, man, we had bonding last night as we arrived at around 1 o'clock in the morning. Great Auburn fans, great Arkansas fans. It was a lot of fun.
Well, the emotion of this Auburn, I don't want to just say football team, but their fans, the athletic department, the students really was lifted tremendously last week after the win over Tennessee. And I think a lot of people look at this game as one, if Auburn finds a way to win this, as an indicator of their over the hump after the 0-2 start. And the same could be said for Arkansas. A lot of people wonder, are they a number 7 team in the country? And well, a win here will go a long way in helping them make believers. Pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and that means that Arkansas will have to punt it away on 4th and 4.
DeMarco McNeil, number 92, gets those hands up. You want to get those arms up there. You can slide around right there. Now get those arms up. And he does. He just bats the football down. It's kind of like throwing through the woods. Now some teams even practice with brooms. They let their players hold up brooms, so a quarterback has to look for it. Now, what you do right now, try to put pressure, try to force a bad kick, but you want to get good field position, but they got 10 up on the line.
Jacob Skinner to punt for the Razorbacks. Back is Trey Smith. Smith will pick it up and fall out of bounds. And a late hit, a 37-yard punt. And Smith just basically rolled out of bounds. But Thomas Crowder, their special teams ace, their leader on special teams, the walk-on.
Well, Dave, you're trying to get so much effort. You see personal foul against the kicking team. This is really going to help Auburn. But I watched Trey Smith down there catching before the punts. And one thing their coach said,
after the play was dead, late hit out of bounds by the red team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
But what he said is don't let the ball hit the ground, and Trey Smith comes up. Now, he's out of bounds going down. You just can't stick him there. That's not a hard hit, but it's contact out of bounds, truly out of bounds.
Rushing yards today, 113, but Cedric Cobbs, the SEC's leading rusher, 4th nationally with only 9 yards today. That's Williams in motion. Campbell to throw. His pass is caught by McIntyre. Down to the 21-yard line. They'll move the chains and stop the clock with 1:11 to go before intermission.
What they did on that play, they came inside. They just kind of curled inside. Right in here, they're going to come in and right there. And you just come double curl inside, find that little seam. When I was watching film, they went to that play. Time after time, they went to that play.
Gain of 20. Clock moves. Here's Carnell. Cuts it back to the inside. Williams to the 10. Down to the 5-yard line. Another Auburn first down, and they're knocking on the door.
Hey, this is the Carnell Williams that we are used to seeing. The cuts, the moves, the plants. Come up to the line of scrimmage. Little draw now. Look at that cut back there. Now he's got to make one person miss, and he does. It's Tony Bowen, number 22. Then burst through a tackle. Don't run up there and be tackled. Burst through and get some yardage.
First and goal. Handoff Williams. Gets hit, lost a yard. Aaron Dixon The 295-pound nose guard makes the tackle. Auburn calls a timeout. Cadillac with 118 yards in the first half. His 7th career 100-yard game. He's putting on a show this afternoon.
With 19 carries, you see Tommy Tuberville pump it in there.
What a difference this team has made. I mean, the first 2 weeks, unbelievable. I think just shocked everybody in America that follows college football. They averaged 41.5 yards a game on the ground, 1.1 yards per carry. But they turned it around. The last 3 games are averaging 256 yards, 5 yards a carry, 11 touchdowns. And after 2 weeks, they were 115th in the NCAA in team rushing out of 117 teams. They've moved up to 41st in the country and 3rd in the SEC.
And the credit goes to Cadillac Williams. I mean, he has just come off the ball. Look at the rush today. The last 118 yards. That's incredible. That's great. That's just continuing. This is the first half. Now, can you punch it in there?
That is the question. In the red zone, Auburn is 9th in the league. 73% of the time they score, but 11 touchdowns in those 19 opportunities. Need to raise that percentage if you're an Auburn fan. Cadillac Williams, Brandon Jacobs are both in the game at the same time. That is Jacobs in motion. Williams, touchdown Auburn!
What a cut. Cadillac Williams, watch him come in here. Now watch this little cut right there to get back outside. He sees the hole and he just explodes through it. He runs through tackle. Untouched. Follow those blockers. He has great vision into the hole.
John Vaughn to attempt the point after. Auburn has made 154 straight extra points. And that streak continues. But the story, without a doubt, has been Cadillac Williams today. His 4th touchdown of the season. And after his 36-yard performance last week, he continues to rack up the carries, up over 20 now. And nice blocking by that offensive line, that right side.
Boy, it is. Right in here. Now look, you're gonna cut back inside. You're gonna follow right there. You see you got your block right out in front of you there? That's number 45, Brandon Johnson. Now get on his tail. See that little block cut back inside? He is just spectacular. And it's all come, as you said, Dave, it's all come in the last few weeks. When we saw him at Vandy, he was not the runner he is today.
He's got that explosion. There is no doubt about that. And he's got a smile right now, too. And he knew coming into this, the coaches told him, you know, you're going to see a lot of carries. You're going to have to get him. Ronnie Brown probably won't go. He's got that bad hamstring. Brandon Jacobs and Trey Smith can spell you, but you're our guy.
Yeah, 20 carries. That's a lot of carries in the first half.
Philip Yost to kick it off with 29 seconds to go before intermission. Birmingham and Cedric Washington back to return the kick. It's a little pooch kick. Caught at the 35-yard line. A nice little catch.
Boy, that kind of surprises me. Because if you're Arkansas, all you need is a couple passes over the middle. You can get good field position, maybe come away with a field goal try.
Yeah, there's the 33-yard line.
I don't think that worked like Tommy Tuberville wanted it to work. If you want to pooch kick it there, you kick it off to the side at about the 10, 15-yard line. Not at the 33.
Only 27 seconds to go. Jones rolls. Jones throws it up out of bounds. Pressure came from Dontarius Thomas. For all you young fans, SECkids.com is the place to be on the internet. You can learn about your favorite schools and athletes, and more importantly, play some really cool games. SECkids.com, the new sports website for kids from the SEC. Great facts about your favorite school on there. I mean, talk about how many running shoes the track teams go through during the year.
I like that.
Do things like that, little tidbits, stuff I love. On 2nd and 10, the handoff goes to Howard. And he is brought down at the 35-yard line. Clock continues to run, and that will do it for the first half.
Dontarius Thomas, 54. He makes it go outside. Look at him up inside there. Force it to the outside now. Help. He's got help. 51. Travis Williams comes in there, but I love the play of Dontarius Thomas, 54. Slides to the ball so well.
Well, the Auburn rushing attack behind Cadillac Williams was the difference. Cadillac over 120 yards and a touchdown late here in the first half has given the Auburn Tigers the 7-0 lead over the Razorbacks. And let's check in with Dave Baker, who has Tommy Tuberville.
It was a situation where the Cadillac really got rolling for you there.
Yeah, you know, our offensive line is doing a good job. We missed a couple of blocks in the first couple of drives, but you know, we're getting better, and guys coming off the ball, we've kind of taken the crowd out a little bit. That's helped.
You said before the game you'd stop the run as well, and you've certainly done that.
Yeah, well, that's the whole key. We got to do it the second half now.
All right, thanks, Tommy. We appreciate it. It is 7-0. The Auburn Tigers find themselves on top of the Arkansas Razorbacks here on homecoming day in Fayetteville. Back with more right after this.
SEC football is brought to you by Sonic Drive-Ins, by Bell South, by Taco Bell, by Michelin, and by Napa Auto Care Centers. BC Powder presents the pass play of the week. Last week, Florida quarterback Chris Leak got the Gators going as he hit tight end Ben Troop, who takes it the rest of the way.
Ben Troop hurdles one defender down to the 5. Still on his feet. Troop will score an unbelievable run from the tight end. 18 yards.
And that's our BC Powder pass play of the week.
It has been an old-fashioned smash-mouth game between two Southeastern Conference heavyweights, and right now upstart Auburn with a 7-0 lead over number 7 Arkansas here in Fayetteville. Hi again, everybody. Dave Baker back here with you at Razorback Stadium. Boy, there have been some chances in this first half, but the word of the day so far has been defense. It has been dominant on both sides of the field. Auburn got a big run early from the Cadillac, but then Arkansas bowed its neck, shut the door. The big interception there to stop an opening drive. And then Carlos Dansby getting a beat on Matt Jones from the outside and then stuffing the run on the inside. And that's the kind of afternoon it has been. High fives all around for the defensive play as Auburn leads it by a count of 7-0. Time now to take a look at our Think Outside the Bun call of the week. It's presented by our friends at Taco Bell. And last week, Auburn quarterback Jason Campbell, well, you know what? He was thinking outside the bun with the Tigers looking to score against 7th-ranked Tennessee. Here's what happens now. Auburn unstoppable on the ground all night. So what does Campbell do? He fakes to the Cadillac, rolls right, and hits a wide-open Cole Bennett for a touchdown. You see the play fake really set it up. Great call. Auburn up by 21 early in the 4th with that score. And the Tigers win at 28-21. And that is our Think Outside the Bun call of the week. And as always, it's presented by the folks at Taco Bell. 7-0. Auburn looking to pull the upset against Arkansas, but there's still plenty of time left for the folks here on homecoming day in Fayetteville. We are back to Razorback Stadium with more right after this.
This moment in Southeastern Conference history is brought to you by Citgo. We know you. As an Arkansas Razorback, I ranked 5th all-time in tackles for a single game with 22. I finished my career with a total of 304 tackles. I won the prestigious Outland Trophy, which honors the best lineman in the nation as a senior in 1966. Do you know me?
It's
homecoming here in Fayetteville, and right now the home team trails Auburn by a count of 7-0 on a beautiful afternoon here in the Ozarks. All right, time now to check out our Advanced Auto Parts SEC standings. Let's take a look at the standings, and today we start in the West because that's where we are. You see LSU on top. They got that contest later with Florida, and then Auburn, Ole Miss, and Arkansas all still unbeaten in the league. And in the East, Georgia, Tennessee, big one tonight as they lock horns. Florida with the 2 losses in the column, Kentucky, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt all looking for their first conference win. We hope you'll join us next Saturday at 12:30 Eastern and 11:30 Central as we visit Oxford for an SEC West showdown as Alabama takes on Ole Miss. Eli Manning and the Rebels coming off that impressive win down in the swamp. Last week, Sean Williams was racking up some big numbers on the ground for the Crimson Tide. And folks, do not forget Cooper Tire's SEC Football Today. It precedes our game coverage each and every week. Now what we'll do is we'll kick off your SEC football weekend with news from around the conference. And we're also going to bring you something special next week. We're going to check in with a Big Oak Ranch in Alabama. It's a community that former Tide player John Croyle founded almost 20 years ago. And Croyle spent his life giving back and helping kids in need. It is a heartwarming story that you do not want to miss. So please plan on joining us next Saturday, noon Eastern, 11 o'clock Central for the show, followed by the game. That comes your way just 30 minutes later. Now, besides great football that you get all around the Southeastern Conference, there's lots for folks to do outside of the game, and many of our corporate partners make that possible. And next week, the All-Tel Touchdown and Tailgate Tour is coming to the University of Kentucky. If you're in Lexington for the Ohio game, check out All-Tel's huge interactive display where you can make free local and long-distance phone calls on the new All-Tel cell phones. 3 40-inch plasma screen televisions keep tailgaters up to date on all of today's sporting events. Plus, there'll be other fun interactive activities. All-Tel's Touchdown and Tailgate Tour coming to an SEC stadium near you. That's what college life is all about. Growing up to being the homecoming queen in her court. We're back after this word from your local station. 7-0 is our score. Auburn coming into Fayetteville and hoping to pull the upset, but the Hogs still with 30 minutes of football left as it's 7-0 here at the break. Folks, get the Yahoo Sports College Pack for just $9.95 a month or $59.95 a year. The pack includes more than 50 JP Sports SEC football and basketball telecasts, plus thousands of live audio broadcasts from nearly 100 universities nationwide. Follow your favorite teams from anywhere with a college pack from Yahoo Sports. Dave Baker back here with you, and as we get set to send it back up to Dave Neal and Dave Rowe, who'll take you through the second half. You know, Dave Neal, it was right before the game when Tommy Tuberville said flatly, we're going to stop the run. They've done that. I think the big question now is what kind of adjustments has Houston Nutt been able to make in that Arkansas locker room?
Yeah, well, Dave, I think one thing that if you're Tommy Tuberville, you look at this game and say, you guys, look at the scoreboard. Pretend that this is 0-0. Arkansas has proven time and time again that they can come back regardless if it's 1 touchdown or 3 touchdowns. Just go back a couple of weeks ago. But, Dave, when you think about what happened in the first 30 minutes of this football game, are you surprised by anything?
Oh, I think I was really surprised by stopping Cedric Cobbs. 6 yards in the first half. The first half highlights have been interesting. It's been a defensive struggle. Jason Campbell under pressure. He throws the interception. Arkansas gets the football. They drive down there. They miss the field goal, Dave. That was a crucial one right there. Then Campbell again with that great fake. First of all, this is the run where they stopped him on 4th down. Excuse me. And now Cadillac, vintage Cadillac. Watch him just cut back in here, race to the end zone, and score a touchdown.
Well, let's take a look at our Hyundai halftime stats. And, well, those rushing yards for Auburn, many of those can belong to Cadillac Williams, who has 20 carries for 124 yards. But outside of that, pretty even.
Oh, absolutely. That's indicative of the score, 7-0. It's my kind of football game. I like it.
Well, Dave, in support of Hyundai's ongoing commitment to education, Hyundai Motor America is pleased to contribute to the SEC General Scholarship Fund the amount of $1,000 to be distributed equally among the member institutions. Cedric Cobbs right now, 9 yards. Here's a guy averaging 140 a game. Is his confidence broken a little bit right now?
Oh, absolutely. He's shell-shocked right now. But you keep on going back to him. It's like a basketball player who's missed shots. All of a sudden, he's going to break one, and I look for him to break one in the second half.
Yeah, just keep getting hot, I guess. But let's take a look at your Toyota keys to the second half.
Well, I think, first of all, for Auburn, they need to continue to drive the Cadillac. 20 carries, 124 yards. For Arkansas, find some offense. Cobbs with, 9 yards? Jones, 6 of 12. They need to find a way to move the chains.
Dearius Howard had a pretty good first half rushing the football. He's been about the only bright spot so far. We'll come back, have second half football right after this.
SEC football is being brought to you by Chick-fil-A, by Citgo, by Crystal, and by Advance Auto Parts.
How about that barbecue at Road Hog Park, where all the recreational vehicles spend a couple of nights. Great little facility here put on by the Arkansas folks for all those who drive their RVs. It's a great, great day for football. Let's check in with Dave Baker, who has Houston nuts.
Houston, you made some big plays defensively, but you couldn't get that ground game going in the first
Got to get it going. They're awfully good defense. We've hurt ourselves on a couple short yardage things, but we'll come after them right now.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. Back up to you, Dave.
All right, thank you, Buzz. Well, we came in, Dave, talking about the two talented running backs today, Cedric Cobbs and Cadillac Williams. And so far, it's been Cadillac Williams. Cedric Cobbs just 9 yards on 7 carries. And really, the penetration of that defensive line by Auburn has been really impressive in stopping Cedric Cobbs. But on the other side, Cadillac's been getting a yard or two beyond the line of scrimmage.
Oh, he has. He's gotten great blocks up front. He's read the blocks really well, made tremendous cuts. If that leg was ever a problem, it's not anymore. That is a tremendous cut right there. Then he outbeats Tony Bua to the outside. On that touchdown run, he just scampers back in there and finds the end zone. He is just having a day. 20 carries. That's a lot. If you stop and think, that's 40 carries in a game, Dave. That's a lot of pickups.
Well, Tommy Tuberville said that Cadillac last week looked like the Cadillac against Syracuse a year ago when he ran for over 200 yards in that overtime win by Auburn against the Orangemen. And it's certainly a confidence boost to the offense and the offensive lineman when you know you can give it to a guy number 24 back there. And if number 24 is not getting it done, you got 23. Now, Ronnie Brown right now with a pulled hamstring probably won't see time today, but I just got to lift everybody up.
Oh, it does. And let me tell you, it lifts everybody. The quarterback, it lifts. There's Ronnie Brown. It lifts him up because he can rest. It lifts your offensive linemen up because they can come off the football.
Coach Tuberville said that they would rather save Ronnie Brown down the road if Cadillac can carry the majority of the time today. He gets the first carry here in the second half and picks up about 4.5 yards. Well, for Auburn, Dave, in their last 9 games, including today, they have squared off against 6 top 10 opponents. That is the most in the country. The next closest teams are Arizona State, Texas A&M, and UCLA. They only have 3 top 10 teams during that same stretch.
Yeah. Oh, they're playing great. They're playing great football teams. And Tommy Tuberville told us that our defense played well those first few games. Hey, we didn't play poorly. We just weren't able to move the football on offense.
In motion, they'll play action. Campbell rolls right, throws, passes caught by Ben Obomanu, the sophomore out of Selma, Alabama, his 8th catch of the year. Has 1 touchdown to his credit.
When I really like Jason Campbell on the boot, what he does is he fakes and then comes rolling out to this side. Now this is drive him off the ball, and Susie turns. See how quickly he lowers himself? Then go up and get the football, get those feet down inbounds. Perfectly run. Great timing of the pass. The pass was there when he made that cut.
First and 10 on the 38. Campbell straight drop, trying to set the screen up. And a flag is thrown. They were trying to find Cadillac. But Justin Scott looked like he had a pretty good grasp on Carnell Williams in the backfield.
Absolutely. Justin Scott, number 90, he reads the screen. He's a defensive lineman. And what he does is he just grabs old Cadillac Williams coming out of the backfield.
Steve Landis, our referee today. Bobby Gaston, a supervisor of SEC officials, on hand, as is Commissioner Mike Slive.
Holding by the defense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, and that'll make it a first down.
Well, Justin Scott is number 90 on the play. See, now we're going to drop back right down in there. There's the hold right there. There you go. See it right in there? That's definitely holding. But it's a good play for a defensive lineman. Get down there, you see it, you react to the screen. Just got caught. It's a better play if he doesn't get caught.
It's a bad play if you get caught, good play if you don't. There's Carnell trying to get to the outside, but some of that team speed on defense pays off. Caleb Miller with another tackle. That's 7 for the senior.
Well, if you're going to try to outrun, you've got to have speed. Watch this. Up in the line, there's Caleb Miller, number 43. Now, get to the outside. Use your speed. Don't let him push you off. Hold on and wait for help. He didn't need it. Caleb Miller.
The defensive coordinator, Dave Womack, says probably the best kept secret on this Arkansas team is Caleb Miller, who's looking for his 3rd straight 100-tackle season. The Tigers are looking at a 2nd down and 14. That play got maybe a yard. Huckabee, along with Olajibutu, makes the stop for Arkansas. And I have a feeling that Arkansas probably got a nice little talking to in that locker room.
Oh, yeah. Well, you heard Houston Nutt tell Dave Baker, we're going to come out and we're going to attack right away. That means you throw caution to the wind. Everybody gets more aggressive, both offensively and defensively.
Third down and 13. Here comes some of this 74,000 on hand, a record crowd. Incomplete.
Dave, I can tell you they were going to give Jason no time to throw that football. We're talking about, watch the time, 2.5 seconds you normally have. Look at the pressure on him. I mean, Jimmy Beasley, number 14, is right on his back. He's got to throw it earlier than he wanted to.
Well, that will bring up a 4th down situation. Marvin Jackson back to return the punt. He stands at about the 15-yard line. Line drive kick. And this may work out for Auburn's favor. It'll be down inside the 5. They will spot it inside the 3. Great hustle from Jarris McIntyre to be the first one down. And now Arkansas is backed up after Cody Bliss's 52-yard punt. Today's game is brought to you in part by GMC. The Hogs are backed up, to say the least. 1st and 10. That'll be a gain of about 9. And a big play. George Wilson stepping up. George Wilson, the senior, one of the leaders of this team.
And, Dave, it's a good way to come out of the end zone. You throw a quick out pass. George Wilson, big target out there, and he stretches and makes that 1st down yardage.
You know, moments ago as the team came off, Dave, I saw Tony Bua over there, another one of the leaders of this Arkansas team, a senior, really giving the defense a motivational speech, if you will. And here's Cedric Cobbs giving a little speech with his feet. Cedric Cobbs down the sidelines, tripped up at the 20-yard line by Dontarius Thomas, or he would have gone 90 yards, but a flag is down at midfield. If it stands, it will be a gain of 69 yards.
Well, we talked about it like a basketball player. You just keep on going, keep on shooting, keep on running. And Cedric Cobbs, this may be a hold right in there. That may be the hold that they called. That's right about the midfield spot. Oh, yeah, right there at the tail end. It was way beyond.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. That'll still be a first down.
You know, I think that was George Wilson on Junior Rosegreen. Gotta let him go. He was by him. See if we can see this here. See if Wilson, there he is, 88 right in there. Now, see, right in there, he's got his hand right, and see, he's still holding him right there. And Cobbs is by him.
The crowd doesn't like it. Nothing they can do about it now. But here's Cobbs again. Carlos Dansby with his 5th tackle, and the Bluebirds come out again. But I'm with you, Dave. I mean,
well, I'll tell you, first of all, let's take a look at Carlos Dansby. I told you he's one of my favorites. He plays football. Look at him slide, stay parallel to the line, and when he comes around the corner, you meet him, square up, you get your head in front of him, and Dansby plays well. But back to your point, Dave.
Well, I'm with you when you say keep giving it to Cobbs. All he's got to do is get hot. Just start feeling it a little bit.
Absolutely. It's like that guy who's missed about 6 shots, and all of a sudden he takes the 7th and starts on a tear.
Jones with a nice little fake, another fake to the 42 or the 47-yard line. Picks up about 7 on the carry.
Well, this is a triple option play, Dave. But what they do is they first of all fake to the fullback coming across on the angle. You fake to the fullback right in here. When you read it, now you got a little toss action or you come underneath. Again, another toss action to make you fake, but you got to have pressure from the inside. You got to have help from the inside, and he gets it from Dede.
So a big 3rd down and 4. Pierce in motion. Hand off to Cobbs. Cobbs bounces off a couple of players into the open field. That'll be a 1st down into Auburn territory at the 41. Dede makes the tackle. And Cobbs seems to be feeling it.
You're absolutely right. And now Cobbs was not going to make this on his own. Watch right in here, right in there. He's just about stopped. But he uses that great leg strength. He explodes and picks up those additional yards. Boy, we had a wake-up call for Cedric Cobbs. And Sean Andrews, 73. I mean, he buries his guy every time.
Darius Howard checks in at tailback. Gets the handoff. He gets stopped at the line of scrimmage.
When Houston Nutt said we're going to come out and we're going to attack, they are attacking.
Cedric Cobbs just 9 yards rushing in the first half on 7 carries. Just had a 69-yarder called halfway back. On a hold around midfield. He's back in the game on a 2nd down and 10. To the tight end, Jason Peters. That'll pick up about 5. Lontarius Thomas on the coverage and the tackle. Let's check in with Buzz.
Dave, you know, the interesting thing about this drive by Arkansas, it really shows the versatility of this offense. Houston Nutt will not abandon the run. That's why Cedric Cobbs will get hot here in the second half of play. But besides the fact that Matt Jones makes so many big plays, the threat of Matt Jones on the option keeps everybody in their lanes on the Auburn defense, and that's what makes this Arkansas offense so versatile and so dangerous.
They're looking at a 3rd down and 6 now, Buzz.
Well, here comes some pressure.
Jones sees a seam, and quickly the Auburn Tiger defense converges. DJ Jackson, first member on the spot.
What Auburn did that time is they had a run blitz. They covered every gap. They thought quarterback draw, but they were going to get pressure on them.
And it looks as though Houston Nutt at the 35 is going to go for it on 4th down and 3.
I think it's a good call.
Jones to throw. Looking for Wilson. Goes up high. Pass is knocked down at the 5-yard line. Into double coverage. Dede and Rosegreen back to defend the play.
Well, when you're well coached, you play the plays as you see them. Now he looks off. He looks over to his left, trying to draw the coverage, but double coverage out here. You see Rosegreen coming, playing the ball, and Dede way up high. Good play. Swat the ball away. Didn't fool Auburn's defense.
The Tigers take over at the 35. Both teams have had some kicking woes in the field goal department, so I'm sure that led to that decision from there. It would have been a 52-yarder, but Houston Nutt took his chances, but now Auburn has it. The pitch to Carnell Williams. Carnell out over the 40. It's about 7 on the play. About time to check our scoreboard, I believe. Let's check out the Seminoles in Tallahassee. 19-0 the Hurricanes. Virginia Tech all over Syracuse. Central Michigan over Northern Illinois. Wow. That would be a pretty big upset. How many times have we said that in our college football lives?
Yeah.
Northern Illinois being beaten would be an upset. Vanderbilt and Navy also going at it in Nashville. Carnell Williams got maybe a yard, but a flag is down right in front of the Auburn sideline. One thing we have not seen today, Dave, is 6 men on the line of scrimmage. That call was wearing me out last week. Steve Landis getting word from his fellow officials. Illegal motion against the Tigers.
Decision time. Do you take it? Yeah, take him back.
Illegal motion on the offense. In motion turned up before the ball was snapped. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Fans, JPSports.com has the coverage you want. No one knows the SEC like JP Sports, and we bring the information to you online. Tune in each week for previews of upcoming games, broadcast information, and many other exciting features. JPSports.com, brought to you by the Rechargeable Battery Recycling Corporation. Second down and 8. Mix in motion. Campbell to throw. Hits Mix. Only gets a couple of yards before he is swarmed by 4 or 5 red jerseys. And that'll bring up third down. Eddie Jackson leading the charge, the senior out of Richardson, Texas.
And now if you're Tommy Tuberville or Jason Campbell, what do? Third down and 5. You need it. You want to keep the football away from Arkansas. Do you go back to maybe Carnell Williams on a little toss play? Let's see if he can do it. Or do you go outside and try to find one of your wideouts on about a 6-8 yard curl?
Timeout taken. Dave Womack on that Arkansas sideline saw something he did not like, and he used a timeout. 6:10 to go in the third quarter.
Back in Fayetteville, Brandon Johnson, who's been opening up the big holes for the Cadillac on the Auburn bench. He's got an injured left shoulder, Dave. They don't know when he'll return. Auburn operates without a fullback.
On third down and 5, nonetheless. They will throw. Cadillac makes the catch, but he's 2 yards, maybe 3 shy of the first down marker. And that'll bring up a decision for Tommy Tuberville. I think you got to punt it away right now. Your defense throwing up a goose egg against the club, averaging 37 points a game.
When you see the pressure that Jason Campbell was on, great catch out there. That was a nice catch by Carnell Williams. Just not enough yardage, and Campbell didn't have enough time to look downfield. He had to throw it in a hurry. But you're right, Dave. You give it back to your defense is shutting out a team that's high scoring.
Oh, my goodness. And the Arkansas defense steps up to snuff it out. Jake Slaughter went nowhere.
I can't believe this. I mean, you got to look at the number of red shirts up there. Everybody, it didn't fool anybody. They got him 3 yards in the backfield. Now, will this turn the tide? And Tommy Tuberville, look at him. Oh, boy, he's got some concern. He'll start gnawing on those nails because he should have booted it away. I mean, it's a great thing if you make it. But if you don't, you give Arkansas great field position.
Well, his defense has been about as sound as you can be today against this Arkansas offense, as I mentioned, averaging 37 points a game, second in the SEC, and they've done a nice job on corralling Cedric Cobbs, who gets a couple. Travis Williams brings him down. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. It's the Daves. I'm Dave Neal, along with Dave Rowe and Dave Baker. Welcome to Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas, as Ryan Sorahan makes another appearance. Remember, he opened the game and the initial snap at quarterback, and we haven't seen him since. Here's a little razzle-dazzle, flag down, and a big loss. Way back to the 45. Matt Jones gave it to Washington, or Sorahan gave it to Jones, who gave it to Washington, and then brought down by DeMarco McNeil.
Boy, DeMarco McNeil, look at him, 92. Look at the penetration he gets into the backfield, and he doesn't let him get rid of it. Big senior playing hard.
Third down.
Holding against Arkansas. That penalty obviously declined after that substantial loss. That brings them back to they'll spot it at the 46-yard line. A 15-yard loss.
Boy, and a surprising call. If you catch him, that's fine, but you just moved the ball on offense. Why go to trickery?
4 wide receivers now. Third down and 21. Jones steps up, fires over the middle. Pass is caught to Corey Birmingham. First down. How about that? Third and 21.
Well, Auburn went almost into a prevent defense. They went into a 2-deep zone. You see him dropping. You see Dansby dropping off into his zone. And they had time. Jones had time back there to look, and he found Birmingham on that little slant across the middle. Again, look at the time he has. Auburn allowing him to take time, and he finds Birmingham right in between the seam. You see him coming up. That's because they were in that deep zone.
Gain of 25. Handoff Cobb. Stutter step and tripped up. Carlos Dansby along with Spencer Johnson. I'm just amazed at the push that the Auburn front 4 are getting right now. And Dansby throw him in there at the linebacker spot. Really the front 5, perhaps.
Well, they slide on their initial step. What they're doing is they're coming into a gap. And they're coming into the gap to get penetration. And it's a coordinated gap defense, so you get into the backfield. And they really are coming off the ball hard. They've got 3 big seniors up front there, and McNeil and Spencer Johnson and Reggie Torbor. And then you got Dansby, Dontarius Thomas. You've got a front 7.
Jones lofts it up. Pass is caught. George Wilson inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. Kareli Dede makes the tackle, but not before the Razorbacks look at a first and goal after their gain of 22. And Wilson, who's bothered by a bad ankle, hobbles off the field.
Matt Jones makes things happen. See him wave there with his left hand? Now he just dumps it over top of the defense's head. He makes things happen. He buys time by coming on that little rollout.
Formation on first and goal. Brandon Kennedy, the fullback, Cobbs the tailback. In and out of the hands of the intended target, Stephen Harris.
Boy, Dave, that ball was there for Harris. Covered by Rose. Look at the distance that he's giving him off the ball. Now, he closes. Oh, he got a hand in there. Rosegreen got a hand in there. Boy, Matt Jones says, how good is Junior Rosegreen? He comes to the football. Got to go to the end zone. Got to get in there. Look for one of your wideouts. Maybe find Cobbs on a little swing out of the backfield.
Jones has some room. Rolling left. Throwing it high. Out of the end zone. Nearly picked off. Dangerous pass. Jason Peters was back there, covered by Junior Rosegreen.
Well, again, you'll see him. He's going to buy time by rolling out to his left here. Gets pressure now. Come out of the pocket and buy. But look at him come up there. They force him to throw the football, and he almost throws an interception there.
Now it's third and goal.
Well, Dave, I watched this play 2 weeks ago, and they ran a tight end sneak across the backfield.
Timeout taken by Arkansas. Big possession for the Razorbacks. Back after a word from your local stations. Today's game is brought to you in part by Hyundai. Well, here we go. Third down and goal from the 8-yard line. Arkansas has been pretty good inside the red zone with a 90% efficiency rate, third best in the Southeastern Conference. Dave, they've thrown it on the first 2 plays, or they forced to throw it again here on third down.
And absolutely, you're in a situation where you've got to throw it. Watch the tight end. He was really effective 2 games ago in that Alabama game.
There's Peters in motion. Jones will throw it across the middle. No flag, incomplete. George Wilson, the intended receiver. Kevin Hobbs on the coverage.
On that slant, that is the hardest play for a corner to cover. It's just a slant inside, right in here. Jones delivers it in there, and look at Hobbs go in there. Get the arm in there. You don't put that arm back up on the back. He throws a dart, and look at that. Got that left arm in there, didn't put the right arm up on his back. Again, well delivered, well covered.
25-yard attempt from Chris Balsero. He missed from 35 in the first half. Kick is up, and it is good. So the sophomore from Miami, Florida, finally gets the Razorbacks on the board, and they trail now by 4 with 2:14 to go in the third quarter. And those are some hardcore fans. Well, Dave, Auburn went for it on 4th down. Basically just gave Arkansas 3 there. So if you're Tommy Tuberville, you got to feel pretty good that that 4th down fake punt didn't hurt you any worse.
You're exactly right. But if you're Arkansas, you got to say, hey, they got points off the opportunity.
Well, football fans, register for your chance to win $1 million in the Bell South Kick for $1 Million contest. One lucky fan will be given the opportunity to kick for $1 million during halftime of the 2004 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Atlanta on January 2nd. Log on to jpsports.com to register and then start practicing your field goals. Bell South, listening, answering. Some smoke out of the Razorback. Record crowd of over 74,000 inside Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium today on a glorious fall day for football as David Carlton kicks it off, a line drive kick. Bounces around at the 5. Trey Smith having some problems, but Trey Smith will get it out to the 20 and drop right there. And Dave, Cedric Cobbs came in 140 yards on the ground per game as average. You see the numbers. 2 weeks ago, 36 carries, 198 yards. But today, held in check early, but a big run has boosted him up to 12 carries for 60 yards.
Exactly. That one big burst, they went to him and they got production from him. But he's a hard runner, makes good cuts, reads his blocks well, and he's going to break them. But he's running all out all the time. He wants this second half, I can tell you that.
Cedric will watch this defense now, try to shut down Auburn as Jason Campbell calling some audibles, and the crowd making some noise. Play clock at 4. And Cadillac gets a couple on the play. Boy, this defense came out after that field goal, and they have certainly brought some emotion with them. Caleb Miller now with 8 tackles today, the first man on the spot for the Razorbacks.
And Dave, when you have a good defense like this and you have a back that's run the ball 25, 30 times, you start thinking of mistakes. Does he get careless with the ball? Carnell Williams is very secure with that football, but he's getting tired.
25 carries today for Cadillac Williams. You can make it 26. And the last 2 have not been pretty if you're an Auburn fan. Justin Scott, the senior, makes the tackle.
Boy, and it's a swarm defense every time on Cadillac Williams. They're coming after him. They know he's the only back in the backfield. They're keying on him, and they're coming after him.
Let's check in with Dave Baker.
Dave, Auburn is now going with the backup fullback Jake Slaughter, but with Brandon Johnson on the bench with that injured shoulder, it has completely changed the complexion of this Auburn offense, which was really moving the ball on the ground with 2 guys in the backfield.
Slaughter to the left of Campbell. Campbell to throw. Pass is caught. McIntyre dances his way to the 35-yard line. Marvin Jackson brings him down, but a first down and a big one for Auburn.
It's a well-timed pass. When McIntyre made that little turnout, that ball was right there. No chance of an interception. Well orchestrated by Jason Campbell. Again, you want to throw the ball when the break is made. Campbell drops back, no pressure, delivers the ball, and just as McIntyre turns around, that's because of the separation. He's got the ball right there waiting for him.
On first down, Carnell Williams to the 40. Tripped up by Marvin Jackson. And that may do it for the third quarter. And it will. Auburn led it 7-0 at halftime on a late Carnell Williams touchdown. But the Arkansas Razorbacks have responded with a field goal in the third quarter. We knew this would be a classic, old-fashioned SEC showdown. Fourth quarter football is just around the corner. Fourth quarter football, Dave Neal, Dave Rowe, and Dave Buzzbaker. Glad you could join us as Auburn looks at a second down and 5, up by 4. The pitch for Williams. He'll get it to the 44. That'll be a half a yard shy of the first down. Let's check in with Dave Baker, who has more on a former Auburn Tiger.
Yeah, David, it's just been such a big impact that Tracy Rocker has had on this Arkansas football team. Houston Nutt was raving yesterday about the respect that he commands, about the influence that he's had on these young people. Of course, he was a Lombardi and Outland Trophy winner in his senior year in 1988 at Auburn. He's an Auburn Tiger, but Houston Nutt said this week, there's no question he's a big-time Hog.
Well, he's looking at his defensive line now on third and very short to make a stop here. The pitch to Williams. And they may have stopped him. They may bring up a fourth down.
Well, he had to make the 45-yard line. I don't know if he made it. If he didn't make it, he's going to be close. Another gamble. But try to get it outside. Use that speed. Good block up front. Slaughter gets a good block, kick-out block. But he's got to stretch that line. Look at this. No way. Auburn just hustling to the ball.
Well, they will bring the chains in to take a closer look at it. And it will be another 6 inches. Take a look at our third quarter stats. Pretty equal. Time of possession, very equal. I mean, it's...
Yards are equal. The only difference in the rushing and passing, but huge situation here. You know what? Tommy Tuberville went for it the last time. Hey, it's no different. Why not go for it now?
Well, he had a quarterback sneak in the same situation in the first half with a 6'4" Jason Campbell, and it worked. Dave Womack scratching his head, hoping he's got the right play call.
Now, if your defense, you say, don't jump off.
Tommy Tuberville claps on the far side, thinking his quarterback lunged far enough forward to get the first down.
Well, this is just big man on big man. You got to love it. Look at that great penetration there. Everybody knew it was quarterback sneak. And Jason Campbell just stretches, trying to get to that 45-yard line.
Well, that'll move the chains.
You know, liked it.
You're the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach. He was calm today. Had a nice chat with you before the game this afternoon. He and Joe Wick, a couple of old-time veterans. With play action, pass is caught. McIntyre into Arkansas territory, and he may have picked up another first down. Good play call from Hugh Nahl. Hugh Nahl, by the way, reminded us that he once used to block for Herschel Walker.
Yeah. Well, it's a good fake there and come out to the strong side. And right there, see him run right off the line. You've got a little run-pass option. He finds Jarris McIntyre there on this little slant, picks up positive yardage.
So Hugh said he knows how it is to be an offensive lineman behind a great tailback. You got to either make your block or get run over.
That's exactly right. Make your block or get out of the way.
Danilak loses 4 on the play. First man on the spot, Jamar Gallen.
Boy, Gallen got, again, great penetration coming from that outside backer spot. Number 39 comes underneath the block. Top of your screen. Watch it up there. Gets in the backfield there. Just disrupts the play. Super. Boy, both teams are coming off the ball, Dave, and getting that great penetration.
These defenses have been something today. They really have.
Oh, you got to love this.
Cadillac. A little bit of a change in demeanor and numbers. Williams in motion to the far side. Campbell steps up and fires a bullet wide open to his receiver, Silas Daniels. Inside the 25, down to the 21-yard line. Caleb Miller drags him down, but an Auburn first down.
Or if you find one strength in Jason Campbell on this play, you're going to find his vision. He looks over, he's going to find him right in there. Look at him just throw right in there, he finds it. Excellent blocking up front. Jake Slaughter did the pickup on the blitz. Jason Campbell likes it.
A gain of 29. Sets up another 1st and 10. A busted play. Campbell will have to just make sure he doesn't do anything really foolish. He'll lose a couple of yards. Time for our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game, and it refers to basically the Arkansas Razorbacks, and their home record has been very impressive since 1998. Been so good, it's best in the Southeastern Conference. 31-5 at home. And Houston Nutt said this was one of the biggest home games they played and really wanted this crowd to be a factor. And they're making some noise now for the Hogs on 2nd down and 12. Williams. Inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. Scott Davenport brings him down. Caleb Miller as well.
Dave, we've talked about Caleb Miller all game. Watch him, number 43 slides there. He plays across the block. Now get back in there. He's got to get back in. And he just does. If he doesn't make that tackle, he's got 10 tackles coming into this part of the game.
How about this drive right now, Dave? This is getting ready to be their 15th play of this drive.
That's amazing. You just don't see 15 play drives.
Williams tripped up, and he might be getting tired. That's like his 32nd carry.
Boy, and Elliott Harris, if he just doesn't get a hand, if Harris doesn't get a hand to swipe him on down, he's into the end zone. Watch this, going off tackle. 98's going to just get a hand in there. But you're right, he is getting tired. But you know what? There's nobody to go to. Who are you going to go to?
So on 4th down, John Vaughn steps in. His first attempt today. Vaughn, 3 of 6 in the field goal department. Long this year is 22. This will be a 34-yarder. He's 0 for 2 from 30 yards and beyond. The kick is up, and it sneaks in. And a big 3 points for the Auburn Tigers, and their lead is back to a touchdown. A long drive results in 3 points for the Tigers. They lead it by a touchdown. SEC football is brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks. That's Cedric Washington back to return the kick from Phillip Yost, with the Auburn Tigers leading by a touchdown. A team that has been manhandled the last couple of years by this Arkansas team, but not today. That sails through the end zone, and the Razorbacks will take over at the 20-yard line. And our Jiffy Lube well-oiled machine scoring drive was the last one that resulted in 3 points. And we usually don't show field goal drives, but just glance at those numbers for a minute. 14 plays, 7 minutes and 24 seconds off the clock, 8 of 62 yards. I mean, those are the kind that can give your defense a little bit of momentum as well.
And you're exactly right. Exactly right. And they got back the 3 points that they had gambled.
On the fake punt, Arkansas took over and picked up their first points of the game. Now Jones to throw. Just a little bit low to Richard Smith. That'll bring up second down.
Well, really important series right here. You've just had Auburn control the ball. Matt Jones needs to come out here. Houston Nuts knows this. You need to go to plays that have worked for you. Pick up some yardage, move the chains. Don't give the football back to Auburn. Don't go 3 and out.
Remember, this Auburn team going without one of their star defensive backs, Carlos Rogers, today with a broken hand. Here's Cedric Cobbs over the 20. Torborg and Dansby converge for the tackle, but Carlos Rogers, the junior, has a pin placed in his hand, is dressed out, but probably won't see him the remainder of the game. Cobbs' numbers. He has picked it up some in the second half, but he is trying to keep that streak of 100-yard games intact today. He'll need to have a couple of breakout runs, perhaps. Jones has some running room. Matt Jones breaks a tackle. Matt Jones into the open field. Matt Jones cuts it back. Matt Jones will go in for the touchdown, but a flag down at the 35-yard line. Hold everything. And next to the flag is an injured Junior Rosegreen. Matt Jones would have gone 78 yards.
Point everybody.
Holding on the offense during the run. 10-yard penalty for spotted a foul. Repeat third down.
The second time today, Arkansas has had a big run called back because of a hold.
Well, it's such a needless play when it's behind him. When the quarterback is already broken in there, and Houston Nuts saying, hey, wait a minute, it's behind him. Again, the most dangerous man out there, Matt Jones, runs up through the seam right there. I don't know that we see it. I think that they're going to call it right in there.
That's where Rosegreen went down.
Well, that was about the 35-yard line. It's the only hold I saw.
I mean, Rosegreen was right by the flag. I agree with you. I couldn't pick it up on that replay. A couple of big penalties have really hurt the Razorbacks. And here's a team that Houston Nuts had spent a lot of time on trying to correct some issues in terms of the penalty department. And so far this year, they are the least penalized team in the Southeastern Conference. Crowd completely disagrees. The bottom line is here, Arkansas is looking at a 3rd and 5 now. Jones to throw. Pass is caught by Corey Birmingham. And that'll be a first down. Travis Williams on the coverage.
Well, Dave, it's so important to keep the chains moving. And sometimes when you get a break like that goes against you, and a quarterback like Matt Jones, he can come out there and just get fired up. Tommy Tuberville calling on that defense one more time to stop him.
Matt Jones, regardless of that flag or not, boy, is he an exciting runner.
He's the most dangerous man out there.
Here's Pierce in motion. And off Cedric Cobbs. Cedric dancing, moving. Cobbs to the 40. Over the 45 to the 47. Dontarius Thomas runs him out of bounds. And the crowd wanted some kind of flag, but they won't get it.
Well, you run through tackles. You cause people to miss. There's a miss there. Will Herring missed him. Then Dede misses him. And he got nice help there by Jason Peters, number 80, pushing off the line. Good slob down inside. Get him to the outside. Jason Peters, the big guy.
First down and 10 near midfield. This time they'll play fake to Cobbs. Throw it to the wide side over the outstretched arm of Corey Birmingham. And here come the Bluebirds again. 22-7. Down in Tallahassee, Navy on top of Vanderbilt in the second half, or second quarter, I should say. Ole Miss up by 17 in the second quarter. We'll be in Oxford next week. Memphis, Mississippi State. Bulldogs on top by 6. Second down. Jones to throw it again as his fullback. Here's Pierce at midfield. Stopped right there. Gain of about 3 on the play. Mel Aegis and Carlos Dansby. Dansby now with 8 tackles on the afternoon. 7 tackles for Thomas in the middle. Dansby came in leading the team with 30 tackles on the season. Dansby just a machine. I mean, game in, game out, this guy comes to play.
Third down 6, almost 8 minutes. You got a lot of time. Keep the chains going. Find somebody.
You in 4-down territory yet?
Not yet, but you're close.
Jones under pressure. Over the middle. Pass is caught to Corey Birmingham and a big first down. He had Dansby all over him.
Big plays. Quarterback rolls out, gets that pressure, comes out outside, buys some time, and look at this, just a perfect strike on the run. That's the way you want to throw the football. Throw it in there. Throws across his body, just so well delivered.
Dansby all over Birmingham, not illegally, just great coverage, great throw, great catch. And here's Cobbs spinning, gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Dave, this has just become an epic nose-to-nose battle.
We came in here, everybody's scoring points, right? We knew that these defenses were strong, but I don't know that I expected to see a game like this where you would just play. Defense would shine. Just offense is out there, but the defense is what's shining.
Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator for the Auburn Tigers, has seen his defense play extremely well today, but they still have 6:42 to continue on. Matt Jones going for it all up top. Nearly picked off and a flag in the end zone. Chris Baker, the intended receiver. Karibi Dede will be the victim of pass interference in the end zone.
And Dave, this may be a good pass interference if you're Auburn, because he had the inside position. Look at Baker, had that inside position. Dede came over top of him and got the interference. But if he doesn't, it's probably a touchdown. Well thrown ball, good position. Go up inside. You see how he had the inside spot? If it's not pass interference, it's going to be a touchdown. Look at this. You got to go up there.
Let's check in with Buzz.
Dave, you know, this is where the big difference is from the NFL. It's an easy decision for the defense there to make the interference call because it's not a spot foul like it is in the pros.
They only move it to the 21. Here's Jones on a keeper. Jones loses the football, and Auburn has it. Junior Rosegreen, who left the field just moments ago with the biggest play of the game to this point.
We have talked about Matt Jones's great ability to run. That's that little cross. Everybody follows Cobbs, and Jones just brings it out there. He gets sloppy with the ball. Right in there. Look at him. He just kind of gets popped. It might have been Dansby that pulled it out. Was it Dansby or Travis Williams? Whoever it was a huge play for Auburn.
Oh, Arkansas is looking at a first and goal. Now the Razorback defense needs to stand tall. Here's Brandon Jacobs, nowhere to go. He stays in bounds. Lawrence Richardson makes the tackle. Matt Jones, I don't know how he got through a couple of defenders in the first place, but was getting ready to make it a first and goal from the 6 or 7 yard line and just lost the football.
Yeah, he just got sloppy with it. He just let that ball flop out there. When you're going to get hit, everybody will tell you, protect that ball. Arkansas needs 3 and out. They've got to get the football back, get field position.
Now, whistle stops play. I don't see a flag. Play clock is at 17. Maybe a sideline warning. Or we'll reset the play clock is what the decision will be.
Well, this is a favorite time. I've been in this situation many times. If you're on defense, boy, it comes down to who's going to win up front. Can you get pressure on them? Can you stop them offense? Can the defense get in there? And how about the crowd, the noise?
The record crowd in Fayetteville. They've been playing football here for a long time, and there's never been this many people inside this stadium. And Jason Campbell will call a timeout. Unsure of the play call, will step aside. Our score by quarter. Not a lot of points on the board. But 5:22 to play. Second down and 8 for the Tigers. Campbell, quick drop, throw through the hands of Carnell Williams. Campbell threw it about as hard as he can throw it.
I was just going to say, if you don't catch that one, it sticks in you. That is a dart coming out there. Just try to run them off the line, try to get moving chains.
Dave, how about this, the big third down now? I mean, this is because Arkansas, if they can stop them here, barring some freak play, will have excellent field position and plenty of time to move it down the field.
Well, they've had some success with Nix coming across the middle in that little slant.
And Arkansas will have to use their last timeout. Confusion on the defensive personnel. Houston Nutt. 5:17 to go. The biggest third down of the football game. Tommy Tuberville, Houston Nutt looking on. 3rd and 8 for the Auburn Tigers. Steps up, going deep. And a flag at the 35. 3 flags come in. Ahmad Batman Carroll out of Atlanta, Georgia, saying that he was pushed. Trying to find somebody that will listen.
Yeah. Batman, Ahmad Carroll was over there saying, wait a minute, I got pushed off.
And it is, he's right. And Arkansas will decline it, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Huge play. Go for it. They're just running an out pattern and down the line. Let's see if we see the push-off right in there. There's the contact right in there. I think he did push off. Jarris McIntyre on Carroll. That's the calmest I've seen Houston Nutt all day. Well, they got their defensive stop.
Well, Marvin Jackson stands near midfield. Cody Bliss to punt out of his own end zone. Flags are down as Bliss the whistle's blew.
Woo. Wow. I was just going to say, wow.
Reggie
for the snap. Movement by the offensive line. Half the distance to the goal. Still 4th down.
Reggie Torbor popped up. That'll move him back inside the 5 now.
We may see it right over there. Yep, there it is. You see a little slide back. Now, the one thing you don't want to do as a punt returner is get that ball kicked over your head.
Line drive kick. Jackson stumbles and falls down at the 48-yard line. A 41-yard kick. A good job by Cody Bliss, the freshman out of Brentwood, Tennessee. Let's go down to Dave Baker with our Alltel sideline connection.
You know, Dave, Arkansas has had a lot of success because of big little things. You know, last year they went all the way through the season without a fumble. That included the championship game, a big one here. But one of the biggest intangibles they've got is this team is poised in situations like this, and this is one of the loudest crowds you'll hear anywhere. It's going to work in the Hogs' favor, and they hope it will anyway on this last drive.
4:59 to play. Arkansas in their last outing rallied to tie it up with under a minute to go in Tuscaloosa, forcing overtime. They went on to win. Here's Matt Jones. Inside the 40, that's a sneaky gain of about 10, maybe 11 yards. That may be good enough for a first down.
And did you see what Matt Jones did as he was going down, Dave? Put two hands on that ball.
He'll be about a yard shy.
Look at that. No timeouts. Arkansas, no timeouts. They've got a lot of time, 4.5 minutes.
What a difference a year makes. Arkansas was just pounding Auburn last year, but now these two defenses have both stood tall in Fayetteville. Pierce in motion. Jones lofts it up, nearly picked off at the 16-yard line by Kevin Hobbs. Brett Edens came and put some pressure on Matt Jones as he let it go.
That's exactly what happened. As he dropped back, Eddings is going to come out here and put pressure on him. And when he does, Jones doesn't get the step forward, and the ball just floats on him. You see him react quickly back to the football. That's Kenny Hobbs.
Brett Edens, his brother, Blake played here. Third and very short. They'll give it to Cedric Cobbs. We'll see where that spot is. His forward progress will take him to the 36.5. That'll be a first down, and they'll move the chains.
Well, that is tough yards. I mean, you're looking at 1 yard, 6 inches. And I mean, we're talking about smash mouth football. They're going to measure it.
Tommy Tuberville wants a measurement.
Houston Nutt says, we don't need to measure it.
They'll just move the chains.
But again, just smash mouth, big man. Get behind the big Sean Andrews at the top of your screen. Boy, they're just stuffing the line. There is, I mean, that is just big right there. Dontarius Thomas, Spencer Johnson, 53, just standing them up.
Jones fires a bullet right through the hands of Junior Rosegreen. The problem is Junior's wearing a white jersey.
Yeah, much too late on that play. The pass was much too late. He had to step up into the pocket. He had a lot of time. He stepped up very nicely in the pocket. He steps up here. He avoids the pressure from the backside, but he just does not throw the ball. Their ball's way late. And the route wasn't an interesting route. Trying to run a little post and curl inside. Right there. That's where he needed the ball thrown, not after the defense.
Second down and 10. Four-man front for Auburn. Jones will throw it again. And overthrows his intended target, Carlos Owsley, the sophomore out of Jacksonville, Florida. Where's Cedric Cobbs right now?
Where's the run? You've got Cedric Cobbs. Now you're third down and 10. Now you can't run it. First down pass, second down pass. You've got Cedric Cobbs down there, and we've seen him just light it up a little bit in this second half. Why not go to him?
Auburn playing in their base defense. 43. 4 down linemen, linebackers, Dansby, Thomas, and Williams. Peters in motion. Here comes some pressure. Jones trying to get out of that pressure. Stays on his feet. Great balance. Tripped up at the 35. Got a couple of yards. Kevin Hobbs tripped him up, and the clock continues to move as we close in on 3 minutes.
Boy, Will Herring had him for about a 7-8 yard loss and just missed him. You got to wrap him up. Jones just makes people miss. Fourth down, you've got to go for it now. 2:50 left. This is huge.
With no timeouts left, this could be the game.
Watch that little seam inside, that little post pattern.
Dansby with the sack at the 42-yard line. His 10th tackle is the biggest of the game.
And Dansby has just been on a mission today. Number 11. It's a full blitz on this play. They're bringing pressure from the outside. Dansby just left your screen, cuts underneath, and he's just going to smother him. Watch this, over top. Just smother the quarterback. No way could Jones see that. Dansby with a pressure, a sack, and 10 tackles.
Nothing Houston Nutt can do but watch. Carnell Williams adds to his totals. Picks up about 4 on the play, and Arkansas cannot stop the clock. They have no timeouts remaining.
I can't think of a better player if I was Tommy Tuberville than to give it to Carnell Cadillac Williams in this situation, because he's not fumbled, Dave. He's very, very cautious with the ball. Carries it secure. Don't get fancy. Just keep the clock running. That's all they want to do. Maybe make a first down, but they don't. I don't even know if they have to do that.
They'll need 1 first down, or they'll have to punt it away. But that will only leave a few seconds on the clock. Scott Davenport tackles Cadillac Williams. Next week, we'll travel to Oxford, Mississippi to see those Crimson Tide take on the Rebels. Ole Miss coming off a huge win. One of the biggest wins for that team in a long, long time. Especially coming off a disappointing loss to Texas Tech. They roll down to the Swamp and beat the Gators. Eli Manning continues to lead the Ole Miss attack. Shawn Williams, one of my favorite players in the SEC, averaging over 100 yards a game. Should be a great one. Ole Miss and Alabama next week from Vaught Hemingway Stadium. 3rd down and 4 now. Carnell Williams spins, gets met 2.5 yards shy of the first down. Tony Bua with the tackle. Tony with 5 stops today, along with Justin Scott.
How did Cadillac Williams hold on to that ball? He's going to come in here and turn around. And when he turns around, look who hits him. Strike him right there, head to head. That's Tony Bua, the safety. How did he hold on to that ball? Now let the clock run all the way down.
13 on the play clock, so they will have about 20 seconds left, just shy of 20 seconds perhaps, when this punt is delivered.
Now Auburn does have a timeout. They can take it at 1 second.
So 25 seconds to play. Auburn will have to punt it away when we come back. SEC football is brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks. Bliss having his best day. I wouldn't say best day, having a solid day, averaging about 45 yards per kick. Well, now trying to get one deep into Arkansas territory. Pressure comes and he gets it off, and it's a good kick. Sends Jackson back inside the 10. Marvin Jackson to the 20, to the 22-yard line, and there is 13 seconds to play. A 44-yard kick. Lamel Aegis on that special teams tackle for the Tigers. No timeouts. What do you get? 2 plays out of this?
You can get 3. You can probably get 3.
All they need is 1. All they need is 1.
You're exactly right. You remember Kentucky LSU that you did last year?
Yeah, I remember that very well. I don't think I'll ever forget that.
I didn't think you would.
And look where the Auburn defense is lined up. Now, Arkansas rallied to beat LSU last year late, but they weren't this far back. Jones. And that'll do it. Jones trying to scramble out. DeMarco McNeil makes the big tackle. Nothing the Razorbacks can do about it. The Auburn Tigers have come up to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and responded with a big-time win. Their 4th consecutive victory. They go to 4-2 on the season after that 0-2 start, but more importantly, they go to 3-0 in SEC play. Arkansas goes to 4-1 and 1-1. We'll return right after this.
SEC football has been brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, by Gatorade, by Jiffy Lube, by Aaron Sales and Leasing, and by Chick-fil-A.
Well, it was a big win for the Auburn Tigers and Carlos Dansby. 10-3, our final score, and now it's time for our Napa Auto Care Center's Players of the Games. Carlos Dansby, Caleb Miller. This is, Cadillac Williams had a huge game, but this was a defensive battle, and these 2 guys stood out among the many men on the football field. Dansby and the Auburn fans very happy. We'll come back, wrap it up after a word from your local stations. Carlos Dansby and the Auburn Tigers just may very well be back. They only put up 10 points today, but their defense was awesome. Arkansas came in second in the league, scoring 37 points a game, held to just 3. It was a hard-nosed, classic SEC showdown. A lot of emotion on the football field today. Hope you enjoyed it as the Tigers win it. Don't forget, next week we'll travel to Oxford, Mississippi to see the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Ole Miss Rebels. Hope you can join us then, 12:30 Eastern Time. So for my partner Dave Rowe and Dave Baker and our entire Jefferson Pilot Sports crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long, everybody. We'll see you down the road. You have been watching Jefferson Pilot Sports exclusive coverage of SEC football.